Hello again and welcome to episode 2 of having throttle and your crow butterfly spoilers on the same stick. And in this episode we are going to be using P4 to cover the entire range of movement, so all the way back to all the way forward for throttle and all the way back to all the way forward for your crow brake, but whichever is in use is determined by a 2-position switch. And as you can see, as per episode 1, and always with flaps, if I'm using the butterfly menu, then I've unassigned the flap control because we don't want that trying to mess about with what we're doing. Okay, and also what I have done to save us time is I have set a couple of voice files to this switch. So if I pull the switch back,
brake on,
and if I push it forward,
motor on,
so we know which one's which. Okay, now as per episode 1, it's very easy to sort the throttle. Go into advanced properties, other model options, come down, throttle cut switch will be the switch moved into the position where we want the brakes on, or spoilers.
brake on,
Okay, and
motor on,
there you go. So if we have a look at channel 1 here, we've got motor on state, so if I move the throttle, I've got the full range of movement, throttle back, switch,
brake on,
and now the throttle doesn't work. Okay, now what we need to do is set up the spoilers just to work that way, but not work when the motor is on. I should say that this is not a way I would ever recommend setting your air brakes to work. In other words, pushing forward opens the brakes. I would recommend it's always pulling back opens the brakes. However, some people do like or prefer to push the stick forward. That's the way they're used to. So if this is for you, then that's fine. The reason I don't like it is because of my experience in full size, both private pilot's license and gliding qualifications. In the full size glider, the air brake lever is always pulled backwards to open the brakes. And the reason for that is a simple safety feature. Pilots do fly both power and glider. And you don't want getting confused with what your left hand is doing with the throttle lever or the air brake, because in a tense situation, your brain's going to revert to one of them, and if they work in opposite directions, your brain will inevitably revert to the wrong one. What do I mean? Well, in a power plane, pulling the throttle lever backwards is less power. You're going to come down more steeply. So in a glider, pull the lever backwards, opens the brakes, you come down more steeply. If you're going to be a little bit short of your landing point, you push the lever forward. Either gives you more power or less brake. So that's the version we'll be doing in the next video, but as I say, if this is the version you want, then that's fine. Okay, enough of that. How do we get the air brakes or spoilers to work only when the switch is in the rear position? Well, we'll use a logical switch for that. Come out of here, advanced properties, logical switches, logic switch 1, enable that. And we come down. Right, the control one is obviously going to be the switch in the brakes position.
brake on,
Say OK to that. And control 2 will be our brake or throttle stick, but we want it to be proportional. So we say OK to that. And we want the type to be linear. And then the condition to be and. Now, if the switch is in the butterfly spoiler position and we move the stick, because it's linear, the value works just like a normal servo output. But if we switch it off, switch brake off so that we run to motor, this will lock at -100.
motor on.
So now as I move the stick, that doesn't work. Great, exactly what we need. So we can go to fine tuning, butterfly, and the control is going to be that logical switch. Say OK to that. And Was it centered? No, it doesn't have a center. Good. Because butterfly doesn't like a minus 100 to plus 100. It likes 0 to 100. And I suspect, as I usually do, I'd have to come back and reverse it, so I will reverse it now. If I switch on brake,
brake on.
With the lever back, we're getting 0. With the lever forward, we're getting 100. But is that what we want? Actually, I think that is what you want. I'm saying reverse it because normally I do have it reversed. Okay, we'll soon find out. Say okay to that. We'll come down here and aileron flaps adjustments. Again, you wouldn't normally use values like this necessarily, but I'm putting them in just so that we can see in the servo monitor what's going on. You use the values to suit. Okay, let's have a look. Put the motor on.
Motor on.
Now, as I move the stick forward, hopefully the throttle will move upwards, but nothing will happen with 3 and 4, which is flaps, or 5 and 6, which is ailerons. There we are. And now if I move to brakes,
brake on.
Lovely, it stayed exactly where it is. Now as I move the stick forward, the throttle should stay locked in the off position, but 3, 4 and 5, 6 should move as crow braking. Look at that. There. Lovely. Job done. So I'll see you for episode 3, where we'll actually get the throttle and the brakes to be working in opposite directions, still on a 2-position switch. See you then.